At January's March for Life, the call went out to declare 2014 the year of adoption. The goal? Showcase its positive results by sharing the stories of moms who chose life. Believe it or not, some mothers actually think it's better for their unborn babies to abort them than to give them to families who want to adopt them. Marissa Cope's entire life shouts out, this just isn't true. Adoption can be a beautiful thing. Marissa can only express gratitude for the young mom and dad who created her.
My biological parents, I certainly hope, have the peace of mind of knowing that they chose life for me and they chose a beautiful life for me.
Marissa, oddly enough, grew up with a mom who looks almost exactly like her.
Our physical similarity is quite striking, and I look as much like my parents as my brother does, who is their biological child.
Now married to the towering J. Marty Cope, Marissa's just had her own baby. That experience has her reflecting on her own childhood that brings nothing but happy memories about being adopted.
It was presented to me from birth that this was a positive thing in a way that our family was built and grown. And so it's something that we've always celebrated. Good jokes through the years with my brother that, it took a little more to get me. I didn't come the easy way.
She sees it as a parallel to Christians' relationship with God.
We serve a God who loves adoption. He works through adoption. He adopts us in Christ.
In fact, Marissa and her family believe her first moment with them reflects how Jesus Christ sees all his people.
My brother was 6 years old when I was adopted, and the agency had a policy that the older sibling, if they were old enough, could actually be the one to carry out the baby on that day to present them to the family.
Marissa's new brother scooped her up in his arms with pride to present her to her new parents.
So he brings me out, and I had spiky hair going everywhere, and he says, "Isn't she pretty? Doesn't she look just like me?"
Marissa points out what that moment is like.
The love of Christ for us as he presents us to the Father and says, "Isn't she pretty? Doesn't she look just like me?"
Marissa uses that comparison as an encouragement for abortion opponents to step in and experience such moments for themselves.
A lot of times in critiques of pro-lifers, you hear it time and again, well, go out and adopt the babies if you care so much about them.
Marissa says she's felt so much love from both her own newborn and the young Ethiopian boy her brother adopted. So she speaks from experience when she promises parenthood will bring great blessing.
This is the most rewarding thing you've ever done in your life, and an adopted child, just like a biological child, is a gift.
But pro-lifers realize they're going against the grain in what's now a pro-abortion culture, where a place like Planned Parenthood aborts 145 babies for every one it helps get adopted. Marissa works at Heroic Media, whose mission is to convince women not to abort their babies.
Sometimes, in the mind of a woman, because of what she hears in our culture, abortion is a more humane choice than choosing adoption.
They've done in-depth research showing what women need to hear before they'll accept adoption, like how they can pick the family who will raise their child and get support during the months of pregnancy.
I'm pregnant, but I'm not in a position to care for this child. I want him to have a better future, to be with a family who'll love him and give him the things that I can't. I've learned that through adoption, I can choose the family who will raise him, and I can receive help through the rest of my pregnancy.
Surveys show these ads work. They aired over a 4-year period in Austin, and the number of abortions dropped.
The state of Texas reported over that same 4-year period a decrease in the abortion ratio by over 20%.
Marissa tells of one New York City woman set on abortion. She saw one of these pro-life ads featuring a number she could dial for help.
She called the number and she chose life and adoption for her child. So we've seen women who were pursuing abortion, had the appointment, and chose life and adoption instead. 2014 is the year of adoption, and organizations like Marissa's are begging women who are considering abortion to instead consider adoption. Paul Strand, CBN News, Washington.